Chris, your microphone is off. We don't hear.
So, welcome everybody. Welcome to this meeting. This meeting has been informed very late, so we don't know how many people are coming here, but we do it as we can, so to speak. We are usually starting with the guided meditation, and we do it the same way here today also. So we just sit comfortably. We will begin in a little bit different way. We will begin with just feeling the body, which means that we are closing our eyes and then letting the attention go to the body, feeling the whole body as a unit. What happens around doesn't matter. We just continue to feel the body as one unit and not concentrating, not focusing, just feeling it gently, softly. Just feel the body softly as one unit. And then we go into the non-doing meditation, which means that we just allow this moment, which is here now, to be exactly as it is. We don't try to push anything away. We don't try to analyze anything, fixing anything, searching anything. We just allow the moment to be exactly as it is. Everything is allowed to be, even thoughts. We are not interested in the thoughts, but we don't push them away. Thoughts are also allowed to come and go here. Are we not interested in them? We're not interested in anything. We just sit here, allowing the moment to be as it is, and doing absolutely nothing. And if thoughts are grabbing attention, we just remember the simple instruction, not interested in it. We're not pushing any thoughts away. We just leave them there. They are part of the flow which is coming and going. You just allow everything to be exactly as it is, including the thoughts. But we are not interested in anything. If the thought is a little bit much interesting, we can think, oh, it's an interesting thought, but I was thinking about after the meditation. Here we just sit, allowing the moment to be as it is, not interested in anything at all, and doing absolutely nothing. If emotions arising, we just treat them in the same way. We're not trying to fix them. We don't push them away. And we don't run away from them. They are just allowed to be here as everything else. The same with body sensations or other phenomena, lights or big, strong memories, bright memories. Everything which is here, which is coming here, coming and going, everything is allowed to be exactly as it is. We are simply not interested in it. We are sitting here doing absolutely nothing. So, okay, we can take 1 or 2 minutes to come out of meditation. So, friends, in the meditation, we have some kind of glimpses, what we can call a true state. Silence, stillness. Everyone is different here, and every meditation is different as well. There's some kind of place of quietness, stillness, peace, and maybe also some joy, which is not caused by anything specific. A beautiful place, feeling of being home, maybe. And then we come out to daily activity. And what happens then? Well, this beautiful place that we have seen, this beautiful nirvana, so to speak, doesn't seem to be here anymore. We start to feel bad. Oh, I don't feel good. I better go and meditate again. This is a trap. To go again to the cave, to return to the cave is a trap. Because we are running away from that, which is actually the truth is showing you. Now this is something here that you have misunderstood. Something that you can look at. You have an opportunity now to look at something and get free from it. Instead, we are going back to the cave. We're running away from what actually is. Because in the meditation, if we look at it a little bit closely, and you know it by now, there's not so much things, there's not so much thoughts about us, which is negative. There's usually not any question of the present moment. We don't question the present moment. It's actually quite nice, even. We're not having thoughts about an awful future which will come. That thought is not active. And we don't have any thoughts about that I will never make it. I'm totally worthless. I'm not good enough. I will never make it. So these are ideas about the person here, the me, is not active either. And the fourth category is the idea that I have to fix my life. I have to pull myself together and find a solution to all these problems, which is obviously here. I have to, I must, I need. But these ideas are not active usually in the meditation. So it's good to understand that these beliefs, which is grabbing us when we are not meditating, are not active during meditation. Okay, so we should be in meditation all the time then. No, that is not the solution. It's actually the opposite. To understand that what we call problems in daily life is not active during meditation because we don't believe these thoughts, these negative thoughts about ourselves and our life and others. That's why we feel so good. That's why we can see how it is, the true state of peace and harmony. But if we run back there when we don't feel good in activity, we're just running to a state where these thoughts are not active. Yes. Finally, peace again. This disturbing people around me, disturbing my peace. But that is not the solution. If you don't want to spend your whole life in cave, that is what we usually don't want to. Sooner or later, you have to go out. Sooner or later, you have to come back from meditation. And the so-called normal reality is challenging us again. But it's good to understand that these challenges, which express itself as not feeling good, is actually the truth. Surprise. It's actually the truth which is mirroring us. So when we don't feel good, it is a truth which says, you have misunderstood something here. You don't feel good because there's a belief about something that you have been grabbed by. You believe it is true. So that is the risk of, what should we call it, being stuck in the transcendent, you could call it, being stuck in the cave state, and not see that if we want our daily activity to be total bliss and total love and total freedom, because that is what we're here for, so to speak, to enjoy life. If we want that, we cannot ignore what is coming by running back to the meditation. So in this way, the meditation is actually a trap. It's beautiful, of course, to discover this so-called nirvana inside. But if we're going to discover that samsara, if I use that term again, then it's actually nirvana. Samsara is actually nirvana. And how can we discover that if we run away to the cave all the time when things are getting a little bit hot, a little bit threatening, challenging? So instead, what we need to do, and this is what we do here in the little bit in the group sessions and especially in the individual sessions, is to question these beliefs which makes us not feel good in the first place. We don't want to feel good, but instead of running away from it or taking a drink or something, or putting on the TV or go out jogging, we ask, why is it here in the first place? Why don't I feel good? If I'm supposed to feel good all the time, and you are, look at the birds and the dogs, they don't seem to be having a mess in their life. If I'm supposed to be, so to speak, a natural state of happiness, true state of happiness, why is it the right thing? Why don't I feel good? There's always a belief underlying it, and we have been looking at it before a bit. There's usually 4 categories, mostly. It's only 4. And one of them is to believe that the moment in the future will be awful. What is the proof for this? That the future will be awful? There's no proof at all. It's just speculation. But it comes in our head, not in the neighbor's head. We don't believe it then. Oh, you're so negative. Why do you have to be so negative all the time? Life is can be fantastic. But when it comes in our own head, it's true. Why is it true? Because it comes in my head. Why should it be true? Because it comes in your head. It's totally illogical. We do this. We do it all. We do it all. We believe it is true because it comes in our head about the future. And if we ask the one who is producing this thought, the thinking mind, do you really know anything about the future? He or she will say, no, but I just want to help you. Yeah, but that is not a help to produce negative thoughts about the future. which is also destroying the present moment, actually. So one of these things that makes us feel bad is the belief that about an awful future. And our task here is to become aware of what the thoughts are doing to our life. And the meditation is a help to create that distance so we can become aware that the thought has two parts, the thought in itself and the belief it is true. We have been going through this before. The thought in itself is harmless. Yeah, I will be ruined in 3 months. That is a thought. We can just laugh about it. But if we believe it is true, then horrible things start to happen in us. We don't know anything about the future. And if we are a little bit honest, how many things about the future has happened when we thought it was going to be awful? If you take 100 thoughts, make a list, and you look at it half a year later, how many was manifested as this awful future? Maybe one. But the other 99 was believed to be true in the moment they came and make their life very difficult. It's just a thought. It's not even here in reality, so to speak. It's just something in the head or wherever it is. So thoughts about the future is one source of not feeling good. And the other one is the present moment is not good enough. It has to be improved, obviously, because it's not good enough. It's also belief. And we just believe it. All of us. It has to be changed for the better. But it's not true. The present moment is actually totally complete. Because in this moment, you are totally liberated. But of course, we don't see that. So our journey is to see that this moment is actually totally lived in full contentment, actually. It's just a thought that it needs to be improved in some way. By seeing how it really is. To see how it really is in the moment is not a very difficult thing. The problem is that we believe it should be different. So we are questioning the present moment. I don't like this moment. It shouldn't be like this. Well, life doesn't listen to us, unfortunately. So even if you say, it shouldn't be like this, life doesn't listen. It is like this. But to question the present moment, that makes us feel bad, not what is actually here, usually. And the third part is that we have ideas about ourselves, which is mostly coming in the childhood, that we're not good enough for whatever it is. We're not lovable. We are a loser, so and so on. I will not make it. I'm depending on other people for my happiness or whatever it is. And these ideas, this also makes us feel bad because someone is telling us something and immediately this thought is triggering emotions and tension in the body and maybe also other destructive beliefs. This is a third source, and they're not true. I haven't heard your list of beliefs about yourself which are destructive, but I can say before hearing it, and it's not true. None of them is true. There is not one single negative belief about you which is true. None of them. But we believe it's true because it's coming here and it is part of our upbringing usually. So it's not so easy to just switch off. And we are working with them also, of course, in individual sessions. And the fourth and the last part category is the belief that I have to, I must, I need to. A very big burden on our shoulders. I have to fix my life. I have to put myself together and so on. It's not true. Because there's no one doing anything here. There's no one who needs to do anything. You don't have to do anything more in your life. You don't need to do anything more in your life. You have never done anything in your life. That is not so easy to grab. But that we will also look at, usually in individual sessions, because it has to do with the individuals. You are unique. So you need to have instructions which are unique also. We just generally here make some kind of map. And to understand that to returning to the cave is actually a trap. Instead of using the opportunity when I don't feel good to see, okay, instead of, oh, I don't feel good again. This is coming again. I'm so tired and fed up with these feelings, not feeling good. That's a so-called negative approach. The positive approach, the enlightenment approach, you could call it, is yes, I feel so awful. It means that there's something going on here. The truth is showing me some kind of brilliant mirror, something I can look at. Why is this arise in the first place? One of these 4 categories of beliefs I have that I believe in the moment. Okay, let's look at it and see. I believe about the future. Well, we don't know anything about the future. So how would this moment be felt if I don't believe any thoughts about the future? One of the tools we are using. We are using tools for all these kind of categories. So instead of seeing it as a negative thing, we can see it as, yes, now I have a chance to put one more layer aside and to see more of this beautiful true state, which is shining behind everything, always meditating or not. And you will see that there is no inside or outside anymore. It's just nirvana. That's all. And this nirvana or being or presence, or whatever you call it, awareness, has these beautiful qualities of being total love and bliss as well. Quite a surprise when it comes, but a true reality, and it's permanent. This is enlightenment. Not before the love and bliss comes permanently as qualities of being, not experiences. Then freedom is here. 24/7. Any questions about this, or any other questions, or any comments, or protests? Whatever.
So you've
Yes.
sorry, I just kind of
Yeah. Hi, Fritz. Hi, Fritz.
Hello.
Welcome here.
So you've talked about the negative thoughts, and for sure those are the ones that feel the most unpleasant.
Mm-hmm.
But there can be equally untrue positive thoughts. Like, let's say somebody who's walking around angry all the time can say, oh, I'm not angry, I'm a passionate person. Or I'm God's gift to women, and I'm really not. Those sorts of thoughts can create problems too. So if you want to kind of riff on that a little bit.
Yeah. As you say, these so-called positive thoughts, which are a little bit exaggerating thoughts about ourselves, it's almost like a narcissistic view of about ourselves. There can be a problem for other people mostly, because they feel that this ego is very big, and they can actually become both company leaders and politicians, as we know. They're usually covering up something inside. Because if we believe that we are very good, I'm the best in the market, so to speak, in my area, is usually something else beneath it. They don't want to say, generally speaking here, of course, everyone's unique, but it's covering up something. So it's still some kind of belief in themselves that they are actually not good enough. And then they cover it up by trying to play, even for themselves, even, that I am very good. I have this and these qualities and these kind of things and ideas about themselves. So of course, these so-called positive beliefs, that's also a problem when they are a little bit exaggerated as they are in your example. And we see it all the time, of course. But they don't bring any problems for the person as a bad feeling, but they bring other problems because they can be quite isolated socially, because it's not so easy to be around that kind of person who has such a big belief about themselves, including spiritual teachers, I would say. That's also one category. That it's not any clarity there. Have gone little, saw some things, but it's not finished. But then you go out and become a teacher. So there can also be a very enhanced ego in the spiritual teacher, so-called spiritual teacher. And it's not easy to be around these people. And truth is sooner or later catching up. So the person will be, if they are really want to change, of course, maybe they don't want to change. Many don't want to change at all. They just continue this behavior and this idea about themselves until the body collapses. But if there is an idea, if there is an awareness that something is wrong here, and then of course they can discover, as you say, that my positive beliefs is not in accordance with reality. Because it's the same, of course, with the negatives about ourselves, we say it's not true, but it's the same with the positive beliefs, of course, that they're exactly not in reality, not in accordance with reality. But it depends on the person. If that person feels that something is wrong, but now in the positive sense, so to speak, of course. Why we speaking most about negative things here, because it triggers these emotions and the tension in the body and the other destructive beliefs. But of course, thank you. Of course, we should make the map more complete by also taking this kind of examples. Positive beliefs about ourselves, which is not in accordance with reality. So they are actually, in principle, the same. They're not in accordance with how it is. And when it comes to positive beliefs, it's also in the bottom the same basis as it is in a negative belief, namely that there is a person here. We haven't touched that subject, but we can do it now. You believe that there is a person here who is not good enough, or a person here who is very good. And in both cases, it's a very positive belief about myself. I'm the best. It's a little bit Muhammad Ali in the beginning of his career. I'm the greatest,
Until
Of course,
he got
it was
knocked down a couple times.
yeah. Yeah. Of course, it was some kind of game or some kind of performance, but at the same time, it is a problem because it's whether you have positive beliefs about yourself or negative beliefs about yourself, who is this one who has belief about it then? Who is this person? This is also something, of course, that we need to look at. If we really want to get to freedom, we have to look at this person also, and that is what we have been doing in many of these sessions, group sessions. And we could do it very much in individual sessions as well. The belief that there is a person here at all in the first place, that is, of course, very radical, but it needs to be addressed if we want to get free. Is there something you want to add to this, Fritz?
No, I think that pretty well covered it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So I have a question here from Artem. How to deal with physical pain It makes me to suffer and feel as body, not a witness who enjoys a movie. Mm. Yes, physical pain is of course very troublesome for many people. When it comes to talk about physical pain in this context, when it comes to liberation, it can be useful to see that the physical pain is an experience. It's actually an experience. It's actually not the physical body even, but we don't have to go into that. But the physical pain is an experience. And the freedom state, which is always available, actually there's nothing else. Actually nothing else. And that freedom state, when it is attained, then the physical pain is more bearable, you could say, it's not so strong. Because then you have this joyful, peaceful state as well. So one way to cope with physical pain is actually to meditate in this non-doing meditation and to attain to that state of harmony. Even if the body is in pain, but it's much more easy to cope with it if we have this harmony on the other state, in the other state as well at the same time. I'm not a medical doctor, so I cannot advise you in this case. It's only the principle here. It can also be psychological issues here. Who is saying something? Okay, it was an interesting little. Life is happening. Something is happening all the time, right? Another thing could be that more in psychological issues, that I have pain and the other beliefs which are coming with this physical pain, usually also beliefs coming with thoughts, comments on this state. Why does it happen to me? Life is unfair. That makes the suffering much more, of course, which is quite natural to have these thoughts, of course, but to see that it's actually making it worse. And to see, the next step is, of course, to see who is having the pain. That is the most radical view, who is having the pain. And to see that life is not unfair, it's just what is. And if you can go to that place, Artem, to see this is what is, without having any emotional reactions to it. It shouldn't be like this, yeah, but it is. Without buying the thought that life is unfair and so on, which just makes it more big burden. We have to see this is how it is. And usually when it is allowed to be as it is, even physical pain can be more bearable. You don't take away the pain, but it's more easily to cope with. So to be aware of the ideas which comes with the physical pain, and to come to that more harmonious state inside can actually make it at least a little bit more easy to handle. I don't know if Artem, if that is okay for you, this answer. Otherwise, you can come back.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Some other questions? We can announce a practical thing that we will open up one more group, which is also English talking, no translation, on Wednesdays, the same time as this. And this is because this group today is mostly for Europeans, as you notice. So almost, I don't think there's anyone from Asia here now, because well, they are eating dinner with the family, so to speak. This is what they say. Oh, we are with friends and we are with the families this time in the evening, they say in India. So that's why we want to have one more group than on Wednesdays mostly for the Indian. But you are, of course, you're welcome to join if you want to, depending on what your time, because it's 8:30 on a Wednesday, which means that it's maybe people who are working, they cannot join. But if you can join, of course you can join. So we will have 3 satsang meetings every week then. Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, the same time, all of them, 8:30 Indian time. So we don't return to the cave. It's the easiest way to do that, but will not solve the problem, and you will not get free sooner. You're actually postponing it. It's not any problem really to look at it when we know the principles, when we know the tools, how to cope with certain situations coming. And these tools are a little bit here and individual sessions mostly, because everyone is different. Anyone want any final comment? Yeah, thank you, Dimitri. Dimitri says to everybody, thank you, Chris. So I say thank you, Dimitri, and thank you, everybody. And so we see each other, if you want to, we see each other next Saturday at the same time. Thank you very much.